incoming transmission. Radio revision.
Plus the brand dog thing. Where do you fall? Do you care? Like you said, this never happened. It's all about context. We don't know how it will have played out in the show. I don't kind of like it makes sense the way they've kind of done recently with some of the decisions. But the other side is like, man, Yoda is still for a lot of people. Yoda's the wisest Jedi
Yeah.
out there. But if you go into the weeds, maybe not. I kind of feel bad. Not feel bad. I don't know how I feel 100% with always blaming the Jedi for everything. Even though it has happened.
This is a more interesting conversation that, what do you think about the story beat that never happened? I think you make a good point. Like, the image of Yoda is kind of sacred. And that's why, like, Grogu was like this big thing. Like, we're going there. So I don't know what I would prefer. Because, like, the movies do keep Yoda as the wise, like, and I don't think it's wrong to say, like, Yoda, I think, is a person you would like to strive to be like. Yoda's a pretty zen and good guy. Does he make mistakes? Of course, and they're also in the movie. Like in the prequels, you have him be like, "Oh, Anakin, rejoice the people we lose," and it's like, what? Do not miss your mom. Like, forget about her. So I don't know. I do kind of like that the bigger things that shatter that image are in books and comics and things that not everyone is exposed to. But I don't know. I think it's interesting, like, this whole thing with Yoda, like, and I don't know where I fall specifically.
It's one, and I talked about it here before. There's a lot of not a lot, but probably 2 or 3 recent books or maybe TV episodes that put a lot on the Jedi not being the most, I don't want to say perfect, because I think the Jedi are not perfect, and a lot of people want them to be perfect. And that's when a lot of the criticism comes from. Even though we love Anakin and all the imperfect Jedi out there, if the Jedi make a mistake, this is where the institution needs to fall. Look at all the mistakes they've done. But that's part of being a character. No one's going to be perfect.
It's interesting because George does make this point, like, he does put them in armor for a reason, and he's trying to say something with the prequels and with the Clone Wars and explain, like, how they fall from grace. But it's all in supplement of the trilogy where the Jedi come back. So I think George maybe has a very similar opinion to you. Like, yes, it's a super flawed institution that made a ton of mistakes, and I feel like it's interesting to have storytelling with that and not have them be like these perfect knights. And even in the High Republic, where we see them at their best, there's still mistakes. It's a big institution with thousands of people. Like, of course it's gonna happen. But I don't know. I do get what you say. Like, I hate it when people get like, they're the worst. But at the same time, like, I can ignore that and enjoy my stories.
But the ones that do it great or do it best, like, for example, we didn't talk about Mike Chen. We just had when his book came out recently, in Brotherhood, there's a big part of, hey, the emergency powers, we gotta create the army and we need the Jedi to be part of it. And you start seeing how they start getting involved in the war. And there's a different books that also show that. And I think that's a great way to say, okay, here's where the Jedi as an institution started to go down the wrong path, because now they're involved in politics, and it was actually happening with the war. And that's very interesting. It's more when there's stories that seem to know everything that happened is the Jedi fault. If they only were a little less rigid, none of this would have happened. And I had an issue with it in the Delilah Dawson's Inquisitor book. But of course, that book is from an Inquisitor point of view. So of course, they're going to blame the Jedi. And once I got my head around that, okay, makes sense. But when this Yoda news came out, like, of course he would have kind of been involved in it. It's like, do we need to keep pushing that? But again, it's Yoda, and he's the greatest one out there. We still make mistakes. Unfortunately for him, were very big mistakes. It's weren't little ones.
Unfortunately for Yoda and the Jedi, it does make sense for them to bury it. And let's not talk about this ever again. So I can see it both ways. I was gonna say there is a Star Wars movie that really deals with the Jedi and their flaws, and one character wants them to come back, and the other one wants them to end, and at the end we get to a consensus of what the Jedi are or should be. It's a
We
great
don't
movie.
talk about that. What? I don't know what you're talking about. That movie doesn't exist.
Attack of the Clones.
Oh man. But yeah,
The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie.
we gotta do now that